by giving out prepared speech by giving out prepared speeches. Moving into the prepared speech session, our first speaker today is Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi. I would first like to call upon Toastmaster Venkatesan C to read out her project objectives.
Thank you, TMOD. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today, my target speaker, she's going to deliver a speech in the presentation mastery, level 1, project 2. The speech title is, you can touch it, you can smell it, yet you want it, guess what? Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best for my target speaker, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkatesan. Let me share my screen now.
So before you begin, Toastmaster Aishwarya, let me introduce you. So quick introduction, Toastmaster Venkatesan already told everyone about her topic. When I asked her about her fears, Toastmaster Aishwarya said that she used to be afraid of cockroaches. And unsurprising, given that mighty insect doesn't die even if you cut its head off. However, she has overcome her fear of cockroaches through progressive escalation, starting by looking at pictures, then looking at dead cockroaches inside containers, then looking at cockroaches in her zoology lab, and then finally, she was able to look at the real thing. With this, over to you, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi. You can't touch it, you can't smell it, you want it. Guess what?
Thank you, Toastmaster Atishay. Some people love it, some people hate it, and some people are amazed by it, and others who fear it. Few really understand it. It can make you super rich. It can also make you a pauper. What am I talking about? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a digital currency that was created in January 2009. You often see a shiny golden coin with a B in it. Don't let that fool you. Bitcoin is simply digital only currency. There is no physical currency. No coin you can hold in your hand. Individuals use digital wallets to store their Bitcoins. These wallets have a unique Bitcoin address and are more secure. In 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto published the paper Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The Bitcoin payment systems is purely peer-to-peer, meaning that users are able to send and receive payments to or from anyone on the network around the world without requiring approval from any external source or authority. Bitcoins was invented to make financial transactions easier. Anything can access and use the Bitcoin network, and your gender, ethnicity, religion, species are completely irrelevant. This creates vast possibilities for the Internet of Things. In future, we could see self-driving taxis and Uber vehicles have their own Bitcoin wallets. So the car would be able to send Bitcoin from the passenger and would not move until the funds are received. The vehicles would be able to assess when it needs fuel and would use it when it facilitates to refill. Okay, so what can you do with Bitcoins? You can use Bitcoins to pay or receive, to pay or receive to pay the goods or services. An increasing number of small merchants and larger business are now accepting Bitcoin payments. You can trade it, trading Bitcoins for currencies like US dollars, rupees, etc. We have numerous websites such as Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, Gemini for trading the Bitcoins. As you can see from my screen, this is the Coinbase website. So here you can create your own account and you can buy or sell your own Bitcoins. Any coin has two sides. Similarly, Bitcoin have both pros and cons. Pros. Number 1, fast and inexpensive. It only takes a few minutes to send any amount of money, regardless of the amount or the destination. Moving your money to another part of the world through your bank can be extremely expensive. When it done with Bitcoins, the cost is either negligible or near zero. Number 2, Bitcoin is open source. So anyone can contribute in developing the Bitcoins. Its design is public. Nobody owns or controls Bitcoins, and everyone can take part. The disadvantages. Number 1, volatility. Bitcoin prices are extremely volatile, rising and falling at a rapid rate. As you can see from my screen, just give me a second. So this is the live chart of Bitcoin market price. So the historical says that the value of one Bitcoin is less than 0.01 USD in 2010, and it slowly rises between 17,000 to 20,000 during December 2017. And now the price of Bitcoin is 37K US dollars. So the number 2, risk of loss. Bitcoins are effectively gone. If a hard drive crashes or a virus corrupts the records and the wallet file is corrupted, then there is nothing we can do with that. We can't get it back. So no one knows what will happen with Bitcoin, not even Satoshi Nakamoto. There is no crystal ball. Many of the sharpest minds embrace that uncertainty, broadly agreeing that we just don't know. And perhaps that's part of the mystery. Thank you. By the way, I have some for sale. Any interest here, Modi?
Yeah, thank you, Aishwarya. I'm not sure if I can afford to be spending 37,000 US dollars on Bitcoin, but yeah, your speech makes me feel really optimistic about this digital currency and about decentralization in general. So when I have the money, I will be sure to get back to you. Moving on, the next speaker for today is Toastmaster Sarvanan. Let me first invite on stage his evaluator, Toastmaster Priyadarshini Belur, to read out his speech objectives.
Good afternoon to all my fellow Toastmasters. Sarvanan is presenting a speech which will be based on evaluation and feedback. This is his speech 1. The purpose is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. He can present any speech. It can be a humorous, it can be an informational one. The main purpose here is to take the feedback and apply the same for his next speech. And the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to you, Sarvanan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priya. Now, talking about his fears, Toastmaster Sarvanan, to my surprise, said that he is fearless because he's married. Now, I don't know what to make of this, but I trust the audience is smart. Toastmaster Sarvanan, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, Toastmaster Sarvanan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I tell you some movie titles. You just tell me what is wrong in those titles. Hero number 22. Student number 5. What is wrong in these movie titles?
Sir, it's hero number 1.
Very good. Hero number 1. The next one is student number 1. Everybody never remembers number 1. Nobody cares about number 2 or number 3. Life is just a numbers game. We all are concentrating on the number 1. How to reach number 1. How to be first on all the things which we do. Take, for example, our education system or our corporate world. Everything revolves around numbers. Either the number you know or the people who know you, that is what will make you grow in education as well as in corporate world as well. What is happening in education? We are all concentrating on ranks. What is the GPO? Which college you are going to go? And what is the job placement out there? These are all the things that is concentrated in the education system now. Our president told about Switzerland. I wanted to tell something about engineering and Switzerland. What is the relation between this? If you see in engineering, the pass out people every year will be equivalent to the total population of Switzerland. That's the relation. But if you see the innovation index, Switzerland ranks #1. And where where we stand, we are in 80th position in the innovation index. So that is the difference with the education systems which we have. Take for instance, IIT. How many seats are there in IIT? Any guess? There are around, okay, so you are closer to that, but how many people are applying to that?
More than a few lakhs.
20 lakhs.
Correct. Yeah. 15 to 20 lakhs people are applying for those positions. So what is happening? Everybody is going towards #1, IIT, IIM, those kind of things only. But what will happen to the arts colleges and all? Are they not successful? We have to think about that. What is happening in the corporate world? Just look at this. After completing your graduation, you join as a fresher. Then your bell curve starts, and then you become a lead in 3 years' time, manager 5 years' time. Then what? VP, senior manager, director, CXO. But can everybody become CXO? Definitely not. And what is happening in the corporate world? We chase money. We vie for visibility. We vie for alignment. Why do we do that? What is this called as? This is becoming a race. This vicious cycle of education system as well as corporate world is becoming a big race. Any guesses of what that race is?
Rat race.
Very good. Rat race. We are becoming rats in this world. Is it something that is what is needed from us or what is expected from us? Definitely no. There is life for us. We have to just come out of this repetition and we have to concentrate on laugh out this fear, because this fear is what is making us as a rat. We have to come out of that fear and ensure that we don't follow that race. But can we do that? Is our system allowing us to do that? Definitely. There are ways to do that. I tell you, my friends, please listen to this. There are ways to come out of this rat race. I tell you how to do that. Cognitive repositioning. Cognitive reframing. What does that mean? It's meaning we have to view and experience positive alternatives. We have to critically look at what is happening around us. What are the events that are around us? What are the emotions? And we have to frame our cognitive mind in such a way that we find positiveness in every way. Like our president mentioned, there is a plus sign for Switzerland. There should be a plus sign for each and every person. That is what is going to help us to come out of this rat race. There are 3 ways to come out of this. Number one, spend time with family. Work-life balance is more important. Don't just be in your work mode itself. I know because this pandemic, everybody is working from home. But the problem here is there's a thin line that separates work and life. We have to be cognizant of that. We have to be mindful of that. We have to ensure we have to spend the time with family. Because for the corporate world, we are just employee numbers, right? Employee numbers. If that employee number is not there, Somebody else will replace that employee number. But what will happen to our family? That's not an employee number. That's life, my dear friend, life. So we have to be very cognizant about that. So please spend time with your family. Second, on the money part, there is a way to come out of that situation also. Financial independence. In our Toastmasters journey itself, many people have talked about that. So I don't want to touch more on that, but that is also another way, financial independence. Third, be passionate about something. Have a hobby and just focus on that apart from your work, life, and all. If Toastmasters is a hobby, please ensure you attend Toastmasters every week. And that definitely relaxes you, at the same time supports you with your communication as well as leadership skills. Remember, life is like a chess game. You can play various roles. A king, a queen, or a pawn, horse, everything. But at the end, what happens? The king, queen, pawn, everything goes and settles in a box. So please ensure that life is not just a number. It's a beautiful feeling. Please come out of this rat race. 1, 2, 3 is not important. Your family is important. Over to the Toastmaster day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarvanan. A much needed reminder in these times of working from home, where 1, 2, 3 is what most of us are pursuing all day long. All right, so the next speaker is one of Medley's shining stars, a Toastmaster who has represented the club in the table topics as well as the ISC context on the district level this very year. I would like to call upon the Toastmaster, by the way, if you were not able to guess, is Toastmaster Thomas Abraham. And I would like to call upon his evaluator, DTM Guru, to read out his project objectives.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Before I read out the objectives, I have a request to grammarian Toastmaster Lakshmi. Could you please type the word of the day in the chat box? Because it's not very clear whether it's trepidation or repudiation. I had already passed on a message to you in the chat box. Thank you. Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas T. Abraham would be presenting his Level 1 Project 2 speech from the path Humorously Speaking. The objectives of his speech are to present a speech once, get feedback, and improve upon the speech based on the feedback, and present the speech again. So he is presenting the speech for the second time based on the feedbacks he has received. Timer, his timelines are 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, DTM Thomas. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Guru. Talking about his fears, DTM Thomas said that he overcame his middle-class fear of failure thanks to his boss who supported him even when he failed a project. And no wonder, having overcome that fear, today he is one of the most active Toastmasters here at the club, taking up speech slots and roles more often than the rest of us. DTM Thomas Abraham, an ex-com sitcom. An ex-com sitcom, DTM Thomas Abraham.
Question 1. Why is and how is the ex-com like the bosses? Simple, because everybody thinks they're important and soon they will start thinking so themselves. Not their fault. Look at the designation, the fancy designations: president, vice president, and if the member is senior, senior vice president. We all know that ex-com is accelerated leadership training, including the art of delegation. The simplest way to delegate is at the last moment, bunk the meeting. Somebody has to carry your can. And then end of term, come back and say, see, I created so many leaders through delegation. Delegation, well done. Question number 2, how to recognize the ex-com in a physical meeting. Simple. Look for the rear door. Bunched up there just behind that, that's them, clever guys, because they know it's dangerous to lead from the front. The pages of history are full of stories of emperors, prime ministers, and MDs who have lost their throne or their swivel chair because they forgot to see what was happening behind their back. Therefore, rear row is safe. Seated closest to the door is the salesman, beaming the broadest. The VPM, he has his targets, 880s, Medley, what have you. That is why he will produce that golden Sheffer's pen and offer it to guests to write their names. And then he will send a chit to the TT master. Hey, for Harini, give a simple topic now. Sure enough, Harini will be called. She will be given the tough task of recalling her childhood memories, and she will get uploaded. Her own rhetorical ambitions will be uploaded. All her inferiority complex will be exploded, and she will pay up and become a member, all self-persuaded. Neat job. Seated next is the treasurer, also the tax collector with the tax rates printed properly. See, it is better that the guests see and pay up than having to ask and get the money. Worse still, having to snatch the samosa because of non-payment of the fees. Messy. I meant MESSY. Next to them, neither seated nor standing, is the VPE with his eyes on the door. Poor guy already has to do an evaluation because somebody bunked at the last moment. And if the Sergeant at Arms doesn't come, he will be a wretched soul having to do that also. But the problem is, today is the visit from the area director. Any delay, 1 point is gone for your golden gavel. Tension. Without any such tension, sitting in the front row is the president, as if he's in another planet. If he's a humble guy, a little to the side, otherwise right in the center. Question 3. Anybody who hasn't seen an XCOM? For you, here is a peep show. I am the president. To my left is Arun. Arun, he is the VPE. Bala, he is a secretary. Friends, we need to elect a contest chair. Any suggestions? I suggest Prasad. Prasad is problematic. What is the problem? By the time we give his full name, you will get red carded. His full name is Veera Venkateshwara Varaprasad. And he also adds his father's name when he wants to feel important. Most of the time, he wants to feel important. And he also, if he wants to trouble the MC, he will add his family name. His family name has 3 village names. They are big landlords, no? Okay. I will then propose Mini. Why Mini, Arun? Because the name is short. Her full name is I Mini. Very good. Very observant, Arun. This is the VPE we need. I propose Rebecca. No, that's a problem. What is the problem? Rebecca doesn't want to get married. She wants to study further. But I only proposed her name. No. In online meetings, it will all get taken badly. No. I will stay with Rebecca. What? Ayyo, Kadavule, appadiyella nenikadungo. Free translation. Oh my, oh God, don't think like that. Bala, did you think so? Anyway, he did not say that. Let's not go into it. Come, friends, let's have an election. Suddenly, all the video walls come alive. Now I can certify all the 7 ExCom members are alive. Voting happens. Oh my God, Kadavule, it's a tie. Bala, I don't want to displease you. I don't want to put my casting vote. Because if you're unhappy, no minutes. No minutes means 1 more point gone in golden gavel. Golden will become silver. Arun, if you're unhappy, the entire club is unhappy. No, I don't want to vote. Let's do one thing. Let's have one special general meeting. Bala, when you write the minutes, please say that there was a vertical divide in the committee and the president, in the true democratic convention unequivocally, you know the spelling? Just say something, I will correct it. Unequivocally decided to have an SGM. And he added this very important. That is why they say that people get the contest chair they deserve. People get the ExCom they deserve. Hey, who said that? Indiscipline. TMOD, please take charge.
Thank you, Toastmaster Thomas Abraham, for spilling out the secrets from your experience in the ExCom. It was an entertaining speech. Now, next up, we have an exciting education session by Toastmaster KG Guna. Toastmaster Guna is the co-founder of multiple humor clubs, Chennai chapters, KSA and UAE chapters. And he has been one of the key contributors to the Toastmaster movement in the last decade. Also the co-founder of Legacy, a charitable organization for adding value to children and youth, and a vertical transportation specialist. In line with the day's theme, his session is titled 7 Days Without Laughter Makes 1 Week. WEAK week. Over to you, Toastmaster Guna.
Good evening, everyone on the bridge. Good evening, Medley. What a day. But I know I sound quite positive when I say what a day. But I know within myself, what a day. Should I come here when Thomas is giving a humorous speech? Come on. Ranga, I know him from 1990 when we were together in Abu Dhabi. And I never thought Ranga will seriously dig such a big hole for me, bringing me in and making me sit in front of this great speech by Thomas Abraham. Thank you so much. ExCom is what? Today, after listening to DTM Thomas, it is exterminated com. That's it. Nobody would ever feel like getting into that particular setup. Good evening, everyone, once again. When I asked Ranga, what should I do, man? I'll talk humorously. No. He wants you to talk on humor. I said, that's the most serious business in the world. Okay, Guna, whatever you want, you can do. How many of you, show of hands if possible, have made an attempt, apart from DTM Thomas anyway, made an attempt to write a humorous speech yourself, and then made an attempt to be at the club level humorous contest, area level, whatever. How many of you, approximately? Wow, that's it, okay. Guru has done it. Thank you so much. This is the first step every humorous speech contestant hates to do. My sense of humor is very good. I have a lot of jokes lined up. But then when I want to create a speech with all the punchlines here and there, we find it very difficult. I used to have a mentor by name Gordon Wilcott. He was my manager in Saudi Arabia. Guna, when you want to do a humorous speech, golden words, believe me, never ever search for any incident outside your world, your system, your family, your office, your professional life, your socializing group or whatever. You go out, and that's exactly what our speaker did today, Thomas Abraham, correct? I remember still 1991, 90 January, entering Saudi Arabia. I know when they said your salary is so much, I could immediately understand that it's not to be called a salary. That was the hardship allowance. I accepted it. The hardship allowance, after about 6 months, I had to bring my wife and daughter to Saudi Arabia to live with me forever. And this little girl, about 5 years old, in front of that table where they stamp your passport, pack, and then he looks at my wife, pack, and then he had to search for my daughter who was standing on the other side of the counter. He looked at me, looked at my daughter, looked at the passport. My daughter? I knew what he was trying to say in Arab. I said, yes, Aiba. Aiba in Arabic is acknowledge. He said, Kull Hindi quest. All Indians are good because you don't unnecessarily create a controversy. Because he was asking me, my daughter. That is done. But I, being a fellow to try and find out humor in everything, I added it up, one particular line. My wife was very upset for more than 6 months. When he said my daughter, and when I said Aiva, she couldn't take it for 6 months. And she said, that fellow looks very old, and thank God none of her relatives are around. And you said, Aiva, what is this? Saudi Arabia, with the kind of language skills of the Saudis and the kind of language skills they want to know from us, gave me a lot of opportunities to create, write humorous speeches. Believe me, those who are very serious about writing humorous speeches, collect anecdotes from your own life, even if it's an ordinary, normal one. And then try to, if you can add a punchline somewhere at the end, and then try it out at the club level in the normal speeches. I know pretty well those days when I joined Toastmasters in Saudi Arabia, as early as 2002, we used to have the big brass bell on the table. And then the timer has to hit it. The timer explains his role. When I hit the bell for the 3rd time, you will stop speaking. And if you don't stop, I will hit you with the bell. This is the Arab guy. And then he used to be the humorous champion those times in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I remember an Arab, a young boy who has joined my company and joined Toastmasters also because of Gordon Wilcock, our marketing manager. And we were tutoring him, and then one particular day, he is the sergeant at arms. He goes on, the heart thumping. He says, ladies and gentlemen, there are certain ground rules. What he was meaning to say, you can't have this in your speech when you come on the stage. But what he said, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, you can't have sex, religion, and politics. And then there was a big pause. And the Filipino senior Toastmaster who was tutoring him from behind that board, hey, come on, Muhammad, come on. Only on the stage, only on the stage. He corrected, yeah, you can't have sex when you're on the stage, religion and politics when you're on the stage. And that went for a big, big sixer. If you can keep your eyes open, ears open, senses open, and look at such small incidents here and there, I'm very sure you can definitely make out one of the best humorous speeches possible. There are subtle ones. You know, there was a guy who was saying, I feel like slapping my maths teacher again. Wow, when did you slap him? No, I felt like this before. My goal in life is to become a big industrialist like my brother. Wow, really? Who's your brother? No, he is also having the same goal for the past 20 years. So these subtle ones can be brought in whenever you have this ability to add on. For example, today you heard Thomas, what is that? Equivocal. That's great. We all know it's a bit complicated. But then as a champion speaker, he immediately could add, how many of you want to know the spelling? Okay, you spell it. If there is any mistake, I tell you. Can you imagine? You can make your humorous speech as if it is a table topic. Something like what you thought it should look like. You think of something on the top, on that particular moment, and then you bring it. You can even take reference to the previous speaker or the sergeant at arms or whoever in the hall, and then add it up. Like somebody said in our own parliament, What is the problem with there is no sound coming? The speaker is saying this in our own parliament when Balram Jakar was there. And this fellow says, sir, speaker had a screw loose. And it was, everybody heard it and everybody started acknowledging it. Imagine how Balram Jakar would have felt about it. One important thing, one myth, what I believed all my life in Toastmasters has been clearly broken by our Thomas Sarvanan today. You know what? I used to think people whose eloquence is top class can never win a humorous speech contest. This has been proved time and again in Saudi Arabia, time and again in Dubai. All my 30 years of my life there has been time and again proved. People who are eloquent, people who articulate well, people who have an excellent body language can never win. Because most of the times, people who make a mess of the language, they become the laughing stock, of course, but then that's what is needed. I still remember 1982 when we started our first humor club in Triplicate, which is now called the Humor Club International Chennai. I used to walk around in Triplicate and believe me, every street, a small bit of it. Sir, we have a humor club Sunday morning, please be with us. Sir, we have a humor club, please come, please come. There was one gentleman who was the owner of that old Murali Cafe. He said, no, Guna, come on, I'll come and say something, people will laugh. Sir, that is what we need. Now, sir, that's exactly what we need. So sometimes you don't know where and what hits you when you plan to become a humorous speaker. I still remember in one of our competitions, humorous competitions today, the first guy was talking about a bad belly, believe me, an Arab guy, a bad belly. What happens? Why the air that comes out of his system is not colored by the God? Then you will be warned and all that. You know, can you believe such a speech that happened in Dubai? And then he leaves, the next speaker comes in. As he walks on the stage, you know what he was doing? He was trying to fan off that bad smell. And the entire audience erupted into a kind of a laughter. And that's it. That gave him the position there. So if something can be done, if you're that good enough to connect, apart from your script, if something can be connected here and there, on the spot, you become a good humorous speaker. In fact, now I'm really thinking of a few of my own speeches where the humor, that too on the spot humor, helped me. This happened during one of my vacations. I was in a temple, trying to visit a temple in Mylapore. As I was entering in, my wife was already inside, and there was a gentleman a few years back, restless, running here and there. And you know, I have the habit of helping people. So I said, sir, what's happening? Sir, a new pair of slippers, sir, very expensive. It was here only, sir. 10 minutes back, sir, it was here. A new pair of slippers. That's it. I went inside. But then it gave me an excellent option to create a story. Imagine I come out and this guy is leaving the temple after about 10-15 minutes. I call him, sir, with a real concern, voice of concern. Sir, what's happening? No, sir, I could not find it. Then what happened? Then what, sir? I'm picking my own slippers and going there. This is the addition, what you add. And once in one of the airports in Saudi Arabia, there was a very old senior person. I saw him getting out of his car on his own. And then he walks inside. You know where he walks? He walks straight away to the wheelchair section because he's a senior citizen. So he walks there and he takes the wheelchair. And the attendant takes the wheelchair to the counter. I happen to be behind him. And now, imagine, this guy is a very senior Arab, very well educated guy. So the ticket counter, the counter where the gentleman sitting inside, yes sir, salam alaikum, good afternoon, how are you today? You have any preferences, sir, for the seat? He thought for a while, and then he had the audacity to tell him, give me a seat just on top of the black box. He was shocked. Sir, I'm afraid, I don't understand. Yeah, I need a seat on top of the black box. Why? Something happens, at least you will search for the black box, then you will find me. Otherwise, you won't care about the dead passengers or even passengers who are still not dead. And then that gave me a very good subject. And then I started further working on it. Imagine this guy is asking him, okay, sir, that black box, I know I like the joke. And how many baggages you have? I have 2. Good. This old man is saying, one has to go to Riyadh, one has to go to Jeddah. Now the person behind the counter is laughing. Sir, I'm afraid it's not possible. I know, but then you did it last time without even asking me. I'm talking about the lost bag. Keep your eyes, ears open. Even you find humor in death. Now the family head is off, he's dead. He is in that big coffin. The coffin is already put inside the pit. The poor lady of the family and the 2 kids are seated somewhere in the corner. And this gentleman who's conducting the entire ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, we have lost Mr. John today. Mr. John has been friend, philosopher, and guide for the entire family. John has been such a gentleman that I had taken him as my mentor. John, blah, 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 John, blah, blah, blah. And the lady, driven by the emotions, got up from the chair. With the support of the kids, she started walking towards the pit. And the gentleman said, I know, ma'am, I know I have triggered your emotions. I know you want to see him for the last time. No, yeah. You are talking so many good things about this man. I suspect whether I'm in the wrong grade. That is the kind of reputation some of our own men, isn't it? Why? I'll talk about my grandfather, who had fed me with so many incidents. At the age of 80, he was off the world. My grandma, 74 years old, grieving the death. The entire body is right in front of the house. The last rites are being done, and he was being carried away. Me being the pet grandson of my grandma, I just supported her with a gentle hug, right? And then, I don't know, there was a grimace. I mean, I could see her letting out a little smile. Probably I was mistaken, I don't know. But the reputation of my grandfather used to be, a landlord, used to be off for 2 days. He would straight away go from Vellore to Tiruvannamalai, and then he'll stay there for 2 days. And then he'll be off to Bangalore for about 4 days. That has been his reputation all his life. Okay, just to give you a background. Now, coming back after the rites are over, I am with my grandma. Grandma, was there a smile on your face? Unmistaken smile? No, come on, keep quiet, Bruna. What is it? No, there must be a reason. It's okay. After the 45 years of long bloody marriage, only on that day I know where he is going for sure. That's the reputation of many of us. So what humor does to your reputation? How do you add humor? How do you bring in humor? Believe me, even a prepared speech, ISC, I used to take only 30 days to prepare from whatever is in my mind. But a humorous speech, I start the next day of my losing one particular place in the previous year. Then you keep on. I'm sure Thomas would also vouch for it. And then keep trying the jokes here and there. Keep trying to add up. My best part when I became the humorous champion of the entire Saudi Arabia, it was about my own family marriage system. How 41 of us went from Vellore to Tiruvannamalai to see a girl. And how, except me, all the other 40 were staring at the girl and I was not allowed to even see her. And then when when my would-be father-in-law walked into the hall, and then after she leaves back into the room, hey, come on, Mr. Guna, how is it? How was my daughter? How did she look? And all that. And he was shaking his head in one particular direction, like that, like that. I felt something strange. So in the same direction I saw his entire police, he's a police officer, entire police belt with that gun holder, everything was put on that corner table, and he was, gesturing me to see that, and then asking me whether I like his daughter or not. Believe me, this became a champion speech. My dear friends, Toastmasters, the Medley Masters, please keep your ears, eyes, and senses open. Observe what's happening around. Believe me, you will be able to. Whether you win a championship or not, you will be able to change your entire personality, entire perception of others towards you. Wow, here is an easygoing guy. I normally advise people, make an attempt, get into a humorous speech contest, because it changes your appearance. It changes the perception of the world towards you. You become an easy person to move with. All the very best, future humorous champions. Back to the TMO.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guna. Lots of great stories from your speech, and especially about being aware and using presence of mind to pick up on small incidents from our own lives. Loved it. Now, in the next session, our dear table topics master, Dinesh, will be testing all of our courage by picking up one by one Toastmasters and guests and handing them topics to speak on for 1 to 2 minutes. If you remember, right before the education session, we had 3 gallants come armed with scripts and PPTs for their prepared speeches. The speakers in this next session will not have that privilege. So, ladies and gentlemen, please buckle up for a lively table topic session by Toastmaster Dinesh. Over to you, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you, TMOD Atishay. Good evening to all Toastmasters and dear guests. As you all know, table topics is an impromptu speech session where you are given the topic and you are allowed to speak just at the moment, just like what Toastmaster of the day Atishay told. For table topics, you have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute, and you can speak up to 2 minutes 30 seconds. If you are less than 1 minute or more than 2 minutes 30 seconds, you will be disqualified. Show green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, he will show amber, and at 2 minutes, he will show red. After 2 minutes, after the amber red card is showed, you will be allowed 30 seconds grace time. Those who speak within the qualified time will be available to vote for as the best table topic speaker. And members and guests do applaud speakers who tell the word of the day and the of the day. Thank you. Now going over to our table topic session. The first table topic speaker of today is our Toastmaster Sundaresan sir.
Yes, table topic master. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Thank you.
What life lesson did you learn the hard way? What life lesson did you learn the hard way, Toastmaster Sundaresan?
Life lesson, and in a hard way. Practically, table topic master and fellow Toastmasters, it's a matter of survival on my own, standing on my own leg. That is the life lessons which I learned on my own. Till the age of 19, parents were taking care of me. I was a prince. I haven't bothered for anything. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, Everything will be on the table and I'll go and play, come back. If time permits, I will study also before the exam. The life was smooth. But the day I arrived in Bombay, next day meal, I have to earn myself, I have to plan myself, I have to work for that. Within a week, I got a job, but I had to search for a room, I had to pay the rent, I had to take care of myself. And the hotel was vegetarian hotel of South India, was totally away from where I was staying. So I learned how to travel in a train. Travel in a train is not a joke in Bombay. You all will be knowing that. In the local train, getting in is an art and getting out is also an art. Otherwise, you will get in and you'll go to the other side of the platform. Or if you get out of the train and never you can get back. That is the famous Mumbai mobile trains there. So I learned how to get in and get out, and I learned how to move with people with different languages, with people, get along with people. It was not easy at that age, but it took time just because I wanted to survive on my own. I want to stand on my own. I want to earn my own bread. That was the intention of it. Thank you, and over to Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much. Just like you always get inspiration from your life early. Thank you once again. Our next table topic speaker is my friend Toastmaster Surya.
Hi.
Yeah, hi Surya. Toastmaster Surya, which activities make you lose track of time? Which activities make you lose track of time?
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is an activity that I believe everybody does using mobile phone, especially social media. These days, it's again binge watching, sitting in front of TV, watching movies and OTT platform and wasting the time. I was able to control myself at some point in time. Before the pandemic, it was definitely a good habit that I developed before COVID struck, basically. But after this thing happened, when I do not have much of time, when I had too much of time where I saved my traveling time to office and working from home, I also started again involving myself into Facebook. So earlier there isn't any application that the Facebook application that I was using. Now I had installed it, and I was wasting my time binge watching movies, downloading movies and watching it, and wasting some time in watching some unwanted videos in Facebook. But now again once again trying to come out of it by reading newspaper. So many of people say reading book is a good habit, but I tried reading book. I could not able to follow that, but I thought newspaper is an alternative, a better option compared to book, where I can at least, apart from increasing my reading habit, I could also know some current affairs and information about things that are happening around us, right? So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya, for being so candid about your usage of phone. I think everyone will accept that if they start viewing the phone, it takes a long time for us to get it down. Thank you. Our next table topic speaker is Toastmaster Sharanya. Yes, Sharanya? Okay, we'll move on to our next table topic speaker, DTM Sampath Sauri Rajan sir.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, sir. Sampath sir, what does the Indian dream mean to you? What does the Indian dream mean to you? DTM Sampath sir.
Good afternoon, Table Topic Master and all my Medley friends and humorous king, Toastmaster Guna. Indian dream is my dream. In fact, once upon a time, I create a Facebook page called Indo5. My attachment is very strong. In fact, one of my hobbies now is Indology. I study a lot about that. So Indian dream, of course, a lot of people will think the Indian dream is economic dream. India should become a big economic power. That is what you will think. But I am far from that. I'm not interested in that side of it. There are other people who will do that also. Okay. My Indian dream is because the old India had a way of finding happiness in everything. Now, what we are doing these days, we are trying to follow the Western model of life. There are many good things to follow in the Western models, but the lifestyle itself may not be one of them, in my opinion. So we have to go back to our own style of living with whatever luxuries and facilities the modern life will offer. That combo is my real Indian dream. Just take, for example, common problems of modern times. One is pollution. That will be out in my Indian dream. Of course, India doesn't have a shortage of food, but purchasing power is not there. Equitable distribution. In the olden times, even with less money, there was very good equitable distribution. We should get back that. There is a social order and not so much economic. So basically, with the equitable opportunities and our old Indian style of finding happiness and peace of mind very easily is a great dream I have for India. Back to the table topic first.
Thank you very much, TTM sir, for giving that statesman speech, which was truly inspiring. Our next speaker is Dr. T.K. Sundaram.
Yes.
Sundaram sir, what is the most desirable trait another person can possess? What is the most desirable trait another person can possess? Dr. Sundaram.
Another person can possess.
Possess, yes, sir.
Okay. The most desirable trait. There are many traits, of course. Like actually, man do we have probably more than 20 or 30 traits. What is the trait we are looking for in the other person? Maybe your wife, maybe your friend, maybe your anybody on the road, even actually DTM Thomas sir. Actually, the accommodating the person, the moment you see another man, he should feel warmth. Actually, he should be able to approach. You know, the Lord Rama used to go and talk to he will be the first person to talk to others. That's what they say. Whereas in the other cases, it is different. That is a trait, one of the trait he has. So if the other person, I won't actually, at the moment you look at him, we should feel peaceful and he should approach us, or we should be able to approach them very easily and have a conversation and have an understanding. Under many other disputes, even in the small project or in big projects or in anywhere, it is only the understanding and the interpretation of the meaning of many things. Actually, I am in depreciation that we may not have that in all human beings. Okay, so we would like to expect that in any human being, and other person should develop, or you yourself should develop to be the other person. That is important. Okay, kindly develop a trait of affection, trait of understanding, and a trait of good feeling about others. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving such an inspiring and loving speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next table topic speaker is guest Soundarya.
Hey, hi.
Hi, Soundarya. And the topic is If you were to participate in Olympics, which sport would you likely choose? If you were to participate in Olympics, which sport would you likely choose? Guest Soundarya.
All right. If I had to running away from things is definitely going to be one of them. If I had to participate in Olympics, it would definitely be tennis, but tennis is not an Olympic sport, is it? Let me think. What else would I do? If am I audible? Okay, I am audible. All right. Sorry, my bad. If I were to participate in Olympics, what would I pick? I would possibly spend all of my time thinking what I would be doing. I would possibly narrate different timelines of what sports I could partake in. I would possibly be overcome with trepidation and nervousness, fear, anxiety, which again are all of the same synonyms of the word that I used, right? I would also possibly think I would want to be consistent more than anything else. I think the Olympics that I would want to participate in is consistency, be it in work or in my hobby or in my development of knowledge. I think the Olympics that really matters is consistency. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Soundarya. No one can figure out the word consistency as better as you did. Thank you very much. And our next speaker is guest Ansuman. Guest Ansuman.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah. And the topic is, hypothetically in 2050, would you leave Earth to settle in Moon or Mars? Hypothetically in 2050, would you leave Earth to settle in Moon or Mars? Guest Anshuman.
Thank you for the wonderful topic, Tabletop Master. Well, I've been following Elon Musk closely quite lately, and well, he has created many surprises for me. Well, the first thing is there's a company which is selling 2 tickets for space. That's something many people want to do. So for 2050, hypothetically, I think I really want to go to Mars. But there are many advantages of being in Earth as well. Where in Mars we still haven't found sources of water, well, which is the most essential thing for humanity to survive. Well, and well, but as my duty as a human being, I can't leave Earth to rot and live happily in another planet. So I think I'll stay in Earth and make sure its resources are being used properly and it survives for the future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, guest Anshuman. Pretty sure he would just go he made clear that he would go for a visit for Moon or Mars, but he wouldn't want to settle there. Anshuman, well said. Next table topic speaker is guest Shivamani.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, okay, Shivamani. Your topic is, what is the difference between innocence and ignorance? What is the difference between innocence and ignorance? Guest Shivamani.
Hello, everyone. Topic for the day is what is the difference between ignorance and innocence? See, what is ignorance? Actually, ignorance is nothing but you see some person and you say that this is a person that if you just see someone, then you say that if he says something wrong about you, then you say, okay, it's okay, he's just saying like that. And what is innocence? Innocence is nothing but you don't know anything about situation. There are many people. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Shivamani.
Okay.
Go on, speak for 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Sarvanan. Thank you very much for the speech.
Sorry, sir.
No problem. Next table topic speaker is guest Dharan.
Hi, hello, TT Master Dinesh.
Hi Dharan. When you help someone, do you ever think, what's in it for me? When you help someone, do you ever think, what's in it for me? Guest Dharan.
Thank you, TTM Dinesh. The moment when we think what's in it for me, you break the noble cause, and you'll be doing for some reason. I strongly believe that you have to do help with noble reason, and it will come back for sure. Brian Tracy in his book Goal says that whatever your goal set, the first thing what you have to do, what I'm giving to the people, right? What I'm giving to the particular person. The moment you put that thought in your mind, automatically things will come to you, and you can achieve any goals, any big goals, any small goals. You can achieve topmost in your field. So I always believe that we have to think, what can I provide? What can I give to the people without expecting anything? What is in it for me? So that's the major thought process I always set for any goals. And that's what I'm over to you, TTM Dinesh.
Thank you, Dharan. So beautifully spoken that one should be selfless in whatever they do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next table topic speaker is guest Rahima Shabin. Guest Rahima Shabin. Okay, we'll move on to our next speaker. Guest Priya. Guest Priya.
No, she doesn't seem to be available.
Okay.
No.
Then we'll move on to our Toastmaster Priyadarshini.
Well, she's a role player today.
Okay. Hi Priya. So who do you think of first when you think of success? Who do you think of first when you think of success, Toastmaster Priya?
Yeah, thank you, Dinesh. There are many personalities who come before my eyes when I talk about success. But it may be from a very far off angle if I talk about any big shots who have made a big name. I would personally say it will be my father, whom I would say I think of first when I talk about success, because any of my seniors, my ancestors, including my dad, whenever we talked or tried to know how was their childhood, it was never been a bed of roses, or there was nothing comfortable given to them. There was, today we may complain about the challenges with whatever small things come up, but they only saw challenges in their life. And from their very small age, they have struggled, and whatever they have achieved at their very tender age, I must say it's been a very big achievement. I'm sure there was a competition, there was corruption, every reasons were there even then. Even after having all that, being a businessman without any having any godfather or any elderly support of that sort, just doing everything from the scratch on your own, and staying on to it till the last after fighting all the battles in life. I would say definitely he has set a very strong example, and that success matters to me a lot. Thank you so much to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyadarshini, for giving a brilliant speech. And last table topic speaker for today is none other than our educational speaker, Toastmaster Guna.
Please go ahead. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Just a moment. What national attraction or tourist site should every Indian see at least once? What national attraction or tourist site do you think should every Indian see at least once? Toastmaster Guna.
Good evening, Toastmasters, friends and guests. Thank God you did not ask me what national attraction which you had seen. Many of us haven't seen all those great national attractions in our own country, isn't it? I know people born and brought up in Chennai who have not yet visited Marina, but then they talk about Marina. It's the longest beach, the most beautiful beach and all that. So having said that, I'm not trying to give you an excuse by talking about one national monument or whatever, which I have not visited. But for me, it is the temple called Tirupati. The very first roads that were built, and then they made it shorter by taking shortcuts, and then the double roads, one up and one down. I used to jokingly tell my friends abroad, you need not even visit Lord Venkateshwara, but then you just go up and then come down. Nature gives you the trust of your life. So many people gazing towards the unseen Lord, travel, take risks coming all the way. And so many people walking. You know, it used to be 30 kilometers walk once upon a time. Now it is shortened 1/4 with that new roads and all that. And most vulnerable people from distant villages, if they can come and then show their might by overpowering the mountain to go up and see Lord Venkateshwara, even if you don't see. I think there is one monument which has personally attracted me towards. Back to you, Tia.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guna. Thank you very much for the speech. Even though I visit Tirupati twice a year, I have never actually walked all the way to the temple. But I have used only bus or car. But this time I'll make sure that I do walk, sir. Definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you. And with this, our table topic session for today comes to a conclusion. Timer, can you please read out the name of the qualified table topic speakers?
Yes, Dinesh. So, I mean, all the speakers have qualified the table topic session.
Thank you, Timer Muralidhar. Thank you very much for taking part in the speech. I had a wonderful session today. Even though I have been in an exodus for the past 2 months, and coming back today I was a little bit nervous, but I'm pretty sure that I think I did a decent job of my table topic master role. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Atishay Jain.
Thank you, Dinesh. Yep, and I think we can all agree you did a wonderful job. This was an amazing TT session with lots of great topics and lots of we saw a lot of guests opening up, which was really good. Before we move on to the next session, I have a quick question for all of us present here. As kids, how many of us have been afraid of looking at the report card on result days? Show of hands, please. All right. Yeah, me too. So the next session is similar to that. And now we have Toastmaster Raghunath Nair, the headmaster general evaluator today, coming up with a report card for the in the form of the evaluation session. Toastmaster Raghunath, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adishay. That profound introduction of being a head of the thing as a general evaluator makes it a lot more make it more, what can I say, the pressure on that particular role. But I really enjoyed today's meeting. And now to have the evaluation done for all the prepared speeches and about the meeting, we have, as I mentioned earlier, we have 2 sets of people who will be with me, 2 teams who helps me with that. And now to evaluate the prepared speeches, which takes a lot of time, and they prepare a lot by giving you that 5 to 7 minute speech. And today, a domain expert in a leading IPR firm in Chennai, he shared a great thought yesterday that what he reflects. Laughter is poison to fear. Though it's short, it's something which makes you a lot, makes you think a lot. At Toastmasters, he is perseverant to attain the goals of a podium finish at club or division contests, like the king of Ghazni is what he said, who took 17 times to win Delhi. Please put our hands in welcoming Toastmaster Venkatesan to evaluate Toastmasters Aishwarya's Level 1 Project 2, Evaluation and Feedback on Presentation Mastery, where she spoke about Bitcoins. Put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Venkatesan. Over to you.
Thank you, G. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. First, I would request all the audience to give a big round of applause for my target speaker, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi, who delivered a splendid speech. When I saw the title of the speech, I remember one quote: "If you don't believe it or don't get it." My target speaker, Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi, I was expecting you should start with a bang. Like, what value does cryptocurrencies add? Start with a question and give a pass for 1 minute. If nobody is answering, no one has been able to answer that question, and you should give a brief overview of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a remarkable cryptographic achievement, the ability to create something which is not duplicate in the digital world has enormous value. And you can start with the years like 2008 and 2009 and who invented the Bitcoin, Japanese. Then you should continue with Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies are available in India. And what are all the advantages in India? There are no laws to prohibit individuals from buying or selling Bitcoins in India. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are not illegal in India, but are unregulated. And I was expecting that when you are talking about the pros and cons, you should elaborate with the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, instead of stopping with the 2 lines, you can continue with that. Because of in this pandemic time, inflation has caused many currencies to get their value declined. Number 2 is the technical part. The source code specifies the amount of any coin. That is a major advantage. All the laymen, even all the Toastmasters will come to know about that. And the disadvantages, because of the privacy of the cryptocurrency transaction or there is another disadvantage is also there. The developers wanted to create virtually untraceable source code. Because of that, the technical point, as I know that data losses and can be financial losses for the person who is transacting through Bitcoins. Otherwise, it's a wonderful speech. I'm looking forward more speeches. All the best to Toastmaster Aishwarya Lakshmi. Over to you, G.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Venkatesan. To me also, I liked Toastmaster Aishwarya's confidence, the way she delivered. I really liked it. Those are the positives which I see in her. The diction with which she was able to present it in front of us. That was something which is really amazing as the second project that you have done. An amazing, amazing speech on a contemplative topic. Now, have you ever been in a situation where the host tried serving your fish curry to a vegetarian friend because that was one of their favorite dish? I'm sure you're sure to get not just a staring look, but a firm response. But in that group, if you have a very understanding sister, she will help you to save the situation with a very diplomatic answer. That's one of the favorite dish, but today, because of being a special day, we're not supposed to have a non-veg dish. A grin came from a person who had this similar experience sitting on the other side of the table. The way she laughed out of the fear. Let's put our hands to welcome Toastmaster Priyadarshini to evaluate Toastmaster Sarvanan's Level 1 Project 2 Evaluation and Feedback speech reminding us about the importance of family. Over to you, Toastmaster Priyadarshini.
Thank you, General Evaluator. There was one serial that I used to watch religiously when I was in school. It was called Kya Banoge Munna? What will you do, Munna? You know, this child named Munna who never secured first, second, or third place academic or so was in sports. The same situation happened with our speaker, and his story revolved around this rat race. Yes, Sarvanan told not being in one, but being a student number 5 and hero number 22. There are not just one, but 1, 2, 3 things I liked in Sarvanan's speech. Number one, it gave a reality check when he talked about India taking 80th place in innovation and IIT campus admission and the competition that happens. There was a very practical approach when he talked about all the situation, and every time he talked about this corporate world or other things, we kept nodding because we felt it was very relatable. And there was the third thing that I liked the most was his assertiveness. You know, when he talked about this subject, it was like, I have been there and I've done that. So I don't just have the problem, but I have solution for this also. The icing for the speech was when he compared this life to the game of chess, saying you may be a king or a queen, but we all end up being inside the box one fine day. I think that was a very strong lesson that he was trying to say, that life is to live and let live, not just run behind a race. Very nice subject and very nice topic, I must say, Sarvanan. To this good speech, I again have not 1, 2, but 3 recommendations. Number 1, cognitive repositioning and cognitive reframing. When you brought in this line under solution, I was keen to hear what exactly are these. Yes, these were the positive alternatives, but if you could have stretched it more in simple words, I would have said there was something new I learned from your speech. Number 2 was, what was that one thing which helped you to change your mindset not being in this rat race? If you could have made it, given a little personal touch, I would have enjoyed it more. And thirdly, I'd say the emotion that you got, if there was plan of action at the closure of the story, because you know there was a rush when you were trying to close, then I would have definitely said you had a very good structure overall. I must say you gave a very practical approach, and the assertiveness that you brought in was really appreciable. If you could have simplified few terms here and there and brought in this plan of action, I'd have enjoyed more. I too agree with this statement of yours that life should not be a rat race. It is our life, so let us walk at our own pace. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priyadarshini. Of course, that was really a wonderful speech by Toastmaster Sarvanan. Very confident and a very subject that is very close. The delivery was excellent, and you have actually managed that online speech, like being the present in that frame, and how do you use that to communicate. An excellent speech, which I really enjoyed. Now, like in your younger days, and especially at the start of your career, when you feel limited about your leadership qualities, and suddenly the company purchases a new computer, wherein you type in your commands and it obeys. That's an amazing experience, like having something which obeys your command without questioning you back. And because of this, you end up shifting your career to IT. It's none other than our DTM Guru Prasad, a business consulting professional in the domain of oil and gas, leading a team in India. Please put in your hands to welcome DTM Guru Prasad to evaluate DTM Thomas Abraham's Level 1 Project 2 Evaluation and Feedback speech from Humorously Speaking is on the topic about XCOM. Over to you, DTM Guru Prasad.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. It's a pleasure listening to the speech of DTM Thomas Abraham and evaluating it on this occasion. Yeah, his project objective was to create a humorous environment and deliver a speech that makes everyone keep smiling or be happy. And there are some guidelines, objectives given to him. Let us see how he ended up delivering his speech complying to those objectives. Well, as the mantra of any public speaker talks about, he selected 3 items to explain about the activities happening behind the screens or the concepts behind the screens between the Exicom of Medley. Excuse me for it. Then the key, very, very important and key information a humorous speaker should note is self-deprecation is very, very vital when you're delivering humorous speech. He went one step ahead, took himself and his entire club into humor to make sure that people laugh at it. Then he divided them into 3 categories of leadership lessons, the power of delegation, how he explained it to us, and how people just keep on delegating to others without bothering about what is happening in the back. Then how to recognize the Exicom in a meeting. He very beautifully narrated about how the mood of every role player or every officer is during every meeting. Then he revealed the innermost secrets of the Exicom meeting, how people discuss and come to a decision. Well, when you make fun of yourself, that means you're so confident and you're so proud of yourself and you don't care others laughing at you. Because when you are good, it is just fun of talking it in the reverse. That way, I really appreciate the way he brought up about his Excom experiences or officers experiences and made sure that people will always realize that it's not happening that way. Medley is really a sport club. That message was clearly delivered to the audience, and that's why I appreciate you, sir. However, a couple of comments. As per the expectation of this project, you are supposed to look upon your previous feedback and improve upon it. As I understood from you, there were not much of a negative feedback when you delivered it for the first time, except there were some issues on you facing the camera due to certain reasons. Today, it was fantastic. You were available within the frames of your camera, and even you had managed your movements in such a way that even if you move here and there, it was available within the frame of our eyes. My couple of suggestions here is humor is down to earth. It should reach every audience. We all respect you for the power of language and all that you possess and how you guide us on having control over the grammar and language. However, still in the humor, at many places, we were still seeing an elite part of humor, if I may use the word so. You could have come a little down to earth and told us how it happens and actually connected to it. The president always has only 2 opportunities: calling a guest in the beginning to ask his name and the end ask the same person to give his opinion. He's happy. At the same time, make sure that he asks the guest the same question. Are you happy with the positive way the meeting is conducted, the lessons you learned, or the improvements you're going to see in your life, so that the guest has no other reason except to say yes? What would have happened to this kind of a joke is in the end, when the president really makes it in the meeting, the guest will laugh before answering for the question. The humor will linger throughout the meeting, even beyond your speech. So these kinds of a little focused attention on every level of the audience and a bit of English for the lesser mortals, this speech was exactly very good and fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, DTM Guru, for that excellent evaluation. Even that observation of that eloquence over to the humorous part of it is something which, yes, I also felt that it need to be a lot more connecting. A great evaluation by everyone. One quick now to the timer. Can you please tell me who all are qualified so that all the guests can have the voting done?
Sure. So you want me to go ahead read out?
Oh, yeah. You can go ahead and give out your report on time, please.
Yeah. So in prepared speech, it is Aishwarya, and prepared speech it is Thomas Abraham, and table topic it is Sundaresan, Surya, Sampath, Sundaram, Soundarya, Anusham, Anusuman, Shivamani, Dharani, Priyadarshini, Guna. Yeah, in evaluators, It is Venkatesan and Priyadarshan.
So can I assume that we have one disqualification in the prepared speeches and one disqualification in the evaluation, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that wonderful observation that you have been doing from the beginning. An excellent job. Let's give him a big round of applause as a time. Now, this session on the other evaluation started abruptly without giving much introduction about what a timer has to do. But Toastmaster Murli has done an excellent job in doing that timer. Now, we will have another important role, which when I asked him about what about this particular the topic of today, what I could summarize is a profound statement from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Like, mistake increases your experience and experience decreases your mistakes. If you learn from your mistakes, other learn from your success. That's something which I could summarize what he mentioned to me about the today's theme of the day. Let's put our hands in welcoming Toastmaster Venkateshan to give out his counter report. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks, G. Let me share my screen. Yeah, so for me, an counter report is the display of the effectiveness of the club rather than an individual. So it shows how each member improves as a public speaker and a professional speaker. So I would like to display the summary of the entire counters for the entire speech sessions, including prepared speeches, evaluation, and the table topic sessions. So this is the counter report for today's session, which includes TMOD's counter report as well as the tag players and the role players. So we had around 75 counts, which is at the highest end among all the counter report components. There are 23 repeats in words and very few on but, like, and so. Overall, the clean speeches were from TM Sundaresan, DTM Sampath Saurirajan, and TM Venkatesan C. For individuals, we are not in a rat race, as TM Sarvanan said. So rather, it would be good if we could collect our counter report individually for the last few performances and see whether we are improving from each performance, from the last previous performance. So I have the individual chart report, but I don't want to display it in this report now. I would be sharing it in the chat window. You can gather it as a log and look at it and improve on your counters. So let us laugh out our fear of perfection in our speech and repudiate and try to avoid repudiation and improve in our public speaking. Thank you.
Excellent, Toastmaster Venkateshan. A great report, and I agree with your the way you have presented it and requested the individual role players and Toastmasters to collect the report, our counter report. And that's something which helps in a long way in making your speech much better and helps you communicate to your audience perfectly. Now, we have another important session where these tag players are someone who will be listening throughout the meeting and collect each and every small information that is particular to that role. An amazing way of developing the listening skills. Now, to have the next role, she's native of Karnataka, but spent most of her life in Tamil Nadu. And she says she used to forget suitable ways when on stage. And now she's proud to overcome that and be more disciplined by being in Toastmasters. Let's put our hands to welcome Toastmaster Lakshmi Ramesh as grammarian. Over to you, Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Thank you, sir. There are many outstanding words, quotes, sayings, and thoughts introduced by our speakers today. The first speaker, Aishwarya Lakshmi, She's a cool speaker. She spoke about Bitcoin, the payment, the usage of Bitcoin, the words she used, digital currency, ethnicity, fast and inexpensive, negligible, volatile, corrupted, and finally she ended with any interest. Good closure. And the second speaker, T.M. Sarvanan, he started with numbers. He related between Switzerland and the engineering pass of students, comparing with Swiss population IIT seats, ignorance of numbers other than one, rat race. He used the words cognitive reframing, the thin line which separates life and work, amazing way of presentation. The third speaker, DTM Thomas, sir. So we all know he is a dictionary for us, so we can't comment on a speech. Actually, this is an excellent, very entertaining speech. Wow, what a great funny way of describing the roles of TM. Superb. Golden Shepherds, rhyming words he used: uploaded, exploded, self-persuaded, treasurer, tax collector. The vocal changes, the way he changed his variety of equivocal. Oh my kadavule, by seeing this, by hearing this, I recalled the speech of champions. Very nice and entertaining speech. Guna sir, he shared his humorous speech, experience. It was too good. And then moving on to TT speakers, TM Sundaresan sir. So he recalled his, how his life was in his native and is in Mumbai, and the wordings he used: get in, get out is an art, and get along with people, intention of survival. TM Surya, actually, he comparison of time saving before Corona, that is pandemic situation before and after. And actually, he is now he is moving from the hobby, move from watching movies to newspaper reading. So he is changing his habit. And DTM Sampath sir, actually, he spoke about Indian dream is my dream. So he spoke about his hobby, economic dream, Western models, and equitable opportunities is a great dream he has. Sundaram sir, most desirable trait: accommodating the person, seeing the other person he should be able to approach. And also he used the word peaceful, have conversation and understanding, interpretation of meaning of anything, develop a trait of good feeling of others. And then we are moving on to Saundarya. She spoke about participation in Olympics, the beautiful way, in a beautiful way, and she is the one who used the word of the day, trepidation, and she narrated the different overcome with trepidation, possibly consistent. She spoke about consistent, and Shumon, just he used the words moon and Mars. Shivamani, sorry, ignorance and innocence he spoke about. Darren, he spoke about so the goal, thoughts, always believe what can be giving and what is in it forming. Priyadarshini spoke about success, complete the tender age, achievement, corruption, elderly support, staying on that. Success matters to me a lot. Gunaso, he spoke about Tirupati, how the shorter cut have been increased in now in Tirupati. And Dinesh used the words exodious, nervous, and he commendably he completed the session. Evaluators, Venkateshan, excellent speech. If you don't believe it and you don't get it. Pictographic achievement, elaboration of pros and cons. Again, TM Priyadarshini, she spoke about rat race, reality check, innovation, practical approach, assertiveness, strong lessons, live and let live, cognitive repositioning, reframing, elaboration, personal touch, simplified terms. Life should not be a rat race. And last and not the least, the DDM Guru Prasad sir, he complained to subject, concept behind the screen, self-deprecation, delegating, mood of the officers, reveal innermost secret, the fantastic down-to-earth power of language, elite part of humor linger throughout the speech. So all these words have been used by DTM Guru Prasad sir. Excellent. So that's my observation. Thank you so much, sir.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that wonderful observation by the tag players. Let me request all of you to put a big round of applause to all the evaluators and the tag players for a wonderful observation and conveying that particular message to all the audience. Overall, let me start my session as a general evaluator. What an amazing meeting it was. Very well choreographed by starting on time, and I'm sure we are going to end on time. That's something which we all need to be cognizant of and give importance to, especially on the time. That's something which I really appreciate. And now on TMOD, the spontaneity in you is something that need to be really appreciated, where you grasp on things. That was really appreciated. A very good job as TMOD Toastmaster Atishay. And now on table topic, the simple topics and the way you gave your feedback make it more interactive, and that encourages the speakers to come on. And thing which I also wanted to convey to the guest, there is nothing wrong that we need not complete that 1 minute and need to be sorry about not able to speak. That's where each one of us has learned and has come up to this level where we are able to speak up to 1 minute and more in a table topic session. So please don't be sorry or thankful for your speech kind of thing. So that's something which I wanted to highlight. The other quick things that I would like to re-emphasize as point of improvement is the presence of mind being in an online meeting. That's something which we need to be really looking at. We need to mute when we are not speaking, or like we need to ensure that we mute immediately after we finish our speaking. That's something which will help in not disturbing the other role players and especially prepared speeches and the other role plays. The another point which I need to re-emphasize is on the role players. It is always good to switch on your video when you're communicating. And if we are not in an offline meeting, hence the video, switching on your video while communicating is something which is really important. The facial expression communicates better along with your voice. That's something which we need to really look into. And another feedback as in general, and I'm sure most of them has done it, as an evaluator, is the evaluation should not be on the content of the speech. That's something which we need to leave that communicator or the project speaker to do it. But we need to have our evaluation limited to the objectives of that particular project rather than the subject of that speech. That's something which we need to, because that is where each project differs from one to another and we improve or when we communicate that whole pathways. These are something which we need to notice as an evaluator. Other than that, an overall excellent meeting that I enjoyed. And over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Atishay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghunath, for the wonderful feedback. The report card wasn't as harsh as I've been used to seeing in school, so I'm happy about that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with this, we come to the end of the session. Just one quick takeaway, a 3-word slogan that the brand Nike gave us: just do it, right? That is the one thing that we need to be able to conquer anything, any fears that we have. That is the only thing that we need to think about. Just do it. If you flop, so be it. If we fall flat on our face, so be it. And if we end up looking silly, so be it. What's the worst that can happen? We take our shot, it either becomes a success story or it gives us content for the next humorous speech that will win us Toastmasters ribbon. With this, I sign off as a Toastmaster for the day with just one last duty to execute. Could we please have the polls for the best role players, best speakers, and best evaluators?
Are you able to see the polls?
Yeah, we can see them.
One quick thing on the polls is like for the evaluators and project speakers, there are one disqualification. So please, when you're announcing the result, please look into that. One on evaluation and one on project speech.
All right, so I hope everyone has voted. And with this, I hand over the control back to the President, Toastmaster Ranga, for the rest of the meeting. Thank you. Ranga, you're on mute.
Yeah, just bear with me for a minute. I'll be with you. Okay, so this was a fantastic session. I must thank everyone, especially the education speaker, KG Guna, who came just at a moment's notice. As he rightly mentioned, I can think of hundreds of situations where we used to be sort of roommates. So there were a bunch of people every day in the evening. There was not a single day that went by without us going to sleep without laughter. It was rip-roaring. And he used to make up jokes on the fly, walking on the street or going to the beach or wherever, you know, and it was fun times. And as he rightly said, it is 3 decades, but still I remember it as though it happened yesterday. That's number one. And two, the content and the context of the meeting was just phenomenal. Everyone was too good. I enjoyed it very much. And I would like to take a couple of minutes to ask the guests what their opinion was for today's meeting. Let's go to guest Dharan, if he's there.
Yes,
Yes, Dharan.
Yeah, the meeting quality was amazing, I would say, especially sharing all this counter log and timer log and everything in the chat window, which is a phenomenal work, right? Basically, in an offline meeting, even when we attend a meeting, and after we have to go and ask the person, which means the timer or the counter, to check out the details. But in online, it's quite difficult, right? But you people made it simple. That's a very good job. And overall, the meeting was amazing. I'm looking forward to join in the club. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to go to guest Sharanya, guest Soundarya, if she is there.
Yes, President Ranga, I'm here. As I always say, I think the entire meeting has been very, very eventful. I thoroughly enjoyed all of the speeches that were, that were prepared and unprepared and in the moment's time also. It was, I must say, I had not expected to see the other side of Thomas sir. It was absolutely entertaining. And same with Guna sir's speech, it was very educational and it is very informative. You wouldn't think of preparing a comic script in a structured format. One would assume that it came off, very serendipitously. So I think it was absolutely well done today, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you for your feedback. Next, I would like to call guest Sivamani.
Yes, so the meeting was good. And I liked everyone's how they presented the meeting. And when I was going to this topic, like difference between ignorance and ignorance and innocence, I felt like what to say the topic, like that thing I had. It was good. We'll be joining Toastmasters.
We all have gone through this, Shivamani. So I'm sure you'll get better as the time goes by, and we look forward to seeing you in our next meeting as well.
Thank you.
So having said that, I would like to announce the winners of today's meeting. The best speaker is DTM Thomas Abraham. The best TT speaker is DTM Sampath Saurirajan. The best tag player is TM Venkat Seshan. The best evaluator is Toastmaster Priyadarshini. And the best role player is TM Atishay. Well done, winners. This is a beautiful team. We look forward to more meetings like this. Having said that, I would like to bring our meeting. I would like to adjourn meeting number 633 with the sound of this gong. Thank you.